Good morning, everyone. This is MightyStream. I am brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our H.O.D recovery services. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I hope that you're having a beautiful morning. Today is June the 10th, and I am going to do your just for today in a meditation. So let's go ahead and get into that screen. All right, here it is. When June 10th, changing motives. When we finally get our own selfish motives out of the way, we begin to find a peace that we never imagined possible. I like that, but I want to reread that. When we finally get our selfish motives out of the way, we begin to find a peace that we never imagined possible, taken from the basic text, page 45. As we examine our beliefs, our actions, and our motives in recovery, we'll find that sometimes we do things for the wrong reasons. In our early recovery, we may have spent a great deal of money and time on people, wanting only for them to like us. Later on, we may find that we still spend money on people, but our motives have changed. We do it because we like them. Or perhaps we used to get romantically involved because we felt hollow inside and we're seeking fulfillment through another person. Now, our reasons for romantic involvement are based in a desire to share our already rewarding lives with an equal partner. Maybe we used to work the steps because we were afraid we relapse if we didn't. Today, we work the steps because we want to grow spiritually. We have a new purpose in life today, and our changing motives reflect that. We have so much more to offer than our neediness and insecurities. We have developed a wholesomeness of spirit and a peace of mind that moves our recovery into a new realm. We extend our love and share our recovery with complete generosity. And the difference we make is the legacy we leave to those who have yet to join us. Just for today, in recovery, my motives have changed. I want to do things for the right reason, not just for my personal benefit. Today, I will examine my motives. Wow, that's a powerful reading. That's a powerful reading. And I think so because when a person starts their journey in recovery, when they start that journey, the reasons why they might start are not generally the same reasons that they stay. And so this reading is very true. It talks about how we start out certain relationships, in our using mentality, our disease of addiction, our addictive thinking. Sometimes we start out in a relationship for certain reasons, selfish gains, selfish motives. And then we find out down the road that we want to adjust that. We want to be with someone because we love them and because of the synergy that we would create together, and not for all of the selfish reasons that we started out. And the same thing happens with recovery. If you think about it as a journey of love with someone, with yourself, right? A journey of self-discovery with yourself. When you started out in recovery, if you're being honest, I think a person would have to admit that the reasons for starting were somewhat clouded. And when I say selfish motives, it might not have been, oh, I need to get clean so that I can, prosper, get material things. Now, I'm not talking about selfish in that sense, but our reasons might have been more directed towards the benefits we would gain with other people. Like, for instance, if you were having problems raising your children because of it, probably with the disease of addiction using, one of the benefits of getting clean is now that you can have visitations with your kids, or that you would just be able to have an opportunity to raise them as your own if they've been taken away from you. So it might have been more family centered, right? Our reasons would have been so that we can quell the disease of shame and embarrassment of not being the best parents that we could have been. So in that sense, that's selfish, right? In a sense, that is selfish, but ultimately the motive was also to benefit, you know, your family, your children. So in that sense, sometimes I don't think it's always selfish, but I do think that a lot of times we're forced to recover, we're forced to get clean or feel that way because of the things that are at stake that we could lose if we don't. And so what we want, though, is to eventually see our motives change, the reasons why we stay in this love affair with our self-discovery and our recovery should generally progress towards it's just a sense of wholeness and wellness that we are now living. Why would we ever go back to the uncertainty of living moment to moment in the dire straits of active addiction? Why would we ever go back to that? Generally speaking, I believe that when individuals relapse and they go back to that lifestyle, there was already a progress. There was already something that was taking place before they got there. They relapsed mentally, they relapse emotionally, they relapse spiritually, and then they relapse physically, right? And so it was already underway. It was already growing underneath the surface. And then when they decide to relapse, it was something that was already put in play. They had already justified why they should pick up. And I personally, I just see that as a spiritual issue, and I see it as a mental health issue, right? I see it more from the angle that their coping skills were not activated. Because I truly believe if you can stay clean for a day, you can stay clean for another day. And it's just one day at a time, right? We're not asking for forever. We're just asking for you to put it down one day at a time. So from that angle, I just really enjoyed this particular Just for Today. And I want for you to figure out where you are at in your recovery. Have you reached the stage where you're staying in this way of life, this lifestyle, because it is what you want? Or are you still doing it because it's what's expected of you? It's what you need to do in order to have thus and so, right? Well, obviously, you know, if you have a home now, you have a business, you have vehicles, obviously those things would go away if you went back to, gradually they would go away if you went back to actively using, because you wouldn't be able to work eventually, right? And no one's going to put up with that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that core value. Has recovery become a part of your core value? That you just know this is better. This is the way you want to live for the rest of your life. And I hope so. You know, I hope so. It is for me. I cannot imagine, you know, I can't imagine anything that could possibly come my way that would throw me off to that degree. And I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things and taken a lot of losses. And anytime I've ever had the thought to pick up, it was just a fleeting thought, because my muscle memory now floods that negative thought with all of the positive, beautiful things in my life that I now have. as a result, the beautiful relationships I now have as a result. So I want you to think in those terms. Shout out to my husband today. He came to the program in 95, and he is still in recovery. So he should, I believe he's at year 27. I'm not quite sure, but I believe this is his 27th year of recovery. And so I just want to put that shout out to him. It has been a beautiful journey walking this thing out with you. And so everyone have a beautiful day. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. I got tons of work to do for school, but I am up to the task. So take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you tomorrow.